Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in to the Juice Box Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. I'm running the boards tonight, so if it's a shit show, you can blame me. So I gave Chris the night off. He is coming from the League City All Star 8U game, so we're glad we can have him on because he was possibly going to miss it. So hope you guys are having a good start to your week. I know my day today was pretty busy, but as always, I've got the Dubon Fan Club president with Chris Moreno. Sweet Bee Bones, Mr. Browse. Fellas, how y'all doing on this weekend wrap up on a Monday?
Well, the reason why I made it, as Browse said, something really good happened or something really bad happened. Well, they used to say we looked really good in BP, and then we played the game. So tough game. It was kind of tough to watch. But hey, I'm glad I made it. So I'm ready to talk some Nationals baseball.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you, Chris, for being our special guest tonight on the Juice Box Heroes, and for making this fit in your schedule.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, it was great. It was a busy weekend, all that good stuff going on. Honestly, even though we didn't go on last night, we're on tonight. Hey, guess what? We didn't have a game today. It was a day off, so it's all going to work out. I know we've got that huge Rays series to talk about, which was an emotional swing, to say the least. So we'll get into that, and then we'll get into that Pittsburgh series coming up here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. So I keep saying, like in the post, and the name of this episode is Roller Coaster of a Series. I don't know how else to really sum that up politically other than it was a roller coaster of a freaking series, right? You get the doors blown off of you on games 1 and 3. And then you squeak by in games 2 and 4. Just so y'all know, for the record, I did call a split. Bryle said it was a dirty split. I'll take it. It was a dirty split.
You picked up the 7-10 split.
It's a dirty 7-10.
I'm pretty sure I also said a split.
All right, somebody check that. Someone fact check that. I think you did too, because I think Browse, maybe you went through. I think Browse, you went 3-1, right?
Yeah, I was 3-1. I was being captain positive over here, but it didn't work out for me.
Positivity's gone now. I ain't being positive no more.
That's right. But yeah, so dirty split, really ugly. Thursday's game. Look, I went to the store in the 7th inning, I think it was, to get something from the store, come back, and I don't know what I missed. I just know that I missed a lot of runs being scored by the Rays. Now, look, Brian King came in. He came in to pitch, right? And he's been pretty clutch in that seventh inning guy, except Thursday, his first pitch out of the bullpen went in between the pitcher, or in between the left-hand batter and the umpire's face mask, straight to the backstop. That was his first pitch. And then that whole at bat with I don't even know who it was batting, but that whole at bat, he had zero control. I want to say he either walked him on 4 straight, or maybe it was 4 out of 5, right? I think he might have thrown a strike. The point of it was that Brian King had no control over his stuff on Thursday, and that was the beginning of the end of like 2.5 innings of straight beat down. So I don't have the score in front of me, but I want to say it was a lot to a little. It was a lot to 3.
It was like 9-5 or 13-3. There you go.
Yeah, because I know we came back. We came back to tie the game. We were 3-3 in like the 7th, I believe is what it was. Because I think Cam Smith got a double. I can't remember it, but the point of it is that we were down the whole time. We came back to time, and in that 7th inning, that's when the wheels fell off, and that's when like it just cratered. So what do y'all have for Thursday? Chris, I think you had baseball, probably.
I have baseball every day. I mean, it was one of those things, kind of like what you said. Like, man, I think I went up to go use the bathroom, grab a drink, and then came back, and I saw that it was like, because Altuve had tied it, and it was 3-3. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm feeling pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I think it was a couple walks, and then I think Caballero hit the 3-run bomb, and it went from 3-3 to 9-3, like within like 2.5 minutes, and I was just like, holy shit! It's like that's the last time but like at the end of the day, I mean, like Brian King has been pretty solid. I mean, he's going to have a bad outing. You know, it is what it was, man. It was like once, you know,
Gusto.
once it got away, you pretty much knew it was over. I mean, but Tampa Bay, as much as we like, they're kind of a hard team to figure out because like last year they were big sellers, but their pitching staff is still really good, really good. You know, so yeah, I mean, like I was hoping that was just a a beatdown. We could just wash that away and roll, steamrolling the rest of the series, but unfortunately, it didn't happen like that either. I mean, but it was one of those games to quickly forget. That's pretty much my analysis. Browse, what do you think?
I'm going to rewind it back to when we were coming off the air on our last podcast. And Chris, if I remember correctly, you were saying, hey, guys, the Astros are going to come back and win this one. And that's why you were going with the split. I said they were going to lose it and then win the next three. And guess what? Both of us were really wrong. So anyway, the way that worked, just like you said, we went off the air. Altuve ties it up 3-3. And I'm like, damn. I was like, all right, maybe Chris knew something I didn't know. And then 10 minutes later, PK and I are texting each other saying, hey, you going to switch over to hockey? And I'm like, yeah, I'm putting it on hockey. And that's pretty much how it went. Because it was completely out of hand at that point. I mean, listen, guys, Ort gave up 3, Whitley gave up 2, King gave up 5, Gusso gave up 2. It was an ugly situation down the stretch after Altuve tied it up. So there's not really much more to talk about other than the bullpen just completely imploded after that. So it was an ugly situation. And we were really hoping that they were going to wash it off. And PK, let's roll it into Friday.
Yeah, and real quick, you got a Cesar Salazar sighting on Thursday. That's how bad.
Oh, we did. Yes.
Yeah,
he pitched an inning. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I think before we get into Friday, and we'll talk about this on a little bit for the Saturday game, but the bullpen has been so nails, right? I mean, like they have been locked down. They were destined to have one of these games where they just didn't have their stuff, right? I mean, so Brian King's been really good for us in the 7th inning, pretty much all season. Chalk it up to just a really, really bad night for the bullpen. And then you move on. And you move on to the one that they call Framber Valdez on Friday. And this guy goes and throws 9 innings, 83 pitches, complete game, 3 hit, 1 earned, 9 Ks. The only run was a solo in the 1st inning. And then you have a lot of boring baseball, right? Good pitching from Framber. I mean, like stupid good pitching from Framber. And then look, Yiner walks it off. Right. Hits an oppo bomb, and you take the game 2-1. Not really a lot of offense. I think Jake Myers went 2 for 3. Yiner was 2 for 4. Those are the only 2 guys in the lineup that had multi-hits, had a multi-hit game. Everybody else was over or 1 hits. Other than Framber just doing his thing on the mound and Yiner's bomb, I mean, there's not a lot. There's not a lot going on. I mean, he dominated the Rays. I mean, 3 hits. Domination. So I don't know what you guys picked up from that game other than Framber just like the fact that he threw 83 pitches in 9 innings is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he must have got some motivation from McCullers' start because he looked like 2022 Framber. And you just said 83 pitches in 9 innings. That's, I mean, when Framber is on, he is probably right up there with the best pitchers in the game right now. I mean, like I said, when he is on, he is completely filthy. He's going to, work the ball down in the count. He's going to throw you a lot of 2-seamers, a lot of sinkers, and he's going to allow the defense to work behind him. That's exactly what he did. I mean, so great for Yiner to walk it off. I mean, but like I said, this was a very vintage Framber Valdez start, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, both of you guys have already touched on it. It's Framber, I mean, 83 pitches in a complete game. Like, go ahead and check your stats and go back into history. That doesn't happen very often at all. I mean, we're talking he was efficient, he was precise, and he was absolutely mowing everybody down. That's exactly what I like to see in a good pitcher's duel like that. And that's something that Fromber needed. We've touched on this a number of times. Is Fromber's had a lot of traffic on the bases, especially like the first 2-3 innings that he's pitched. Like, he's gotten through them. Don't get me wrong, but it's not been the prettiest way to get all those outs. And you're sitting on the edge of your seat saying, like, oh my God, is he going to give up another hit? And, he would get through it. But at the same time, this one was not even close to that. This one was domination from start to finish. And just like you guys said, Yanier walked it off. And honestly, that was really the entire game. There wasn't much to say other than that. But I'm really hoping that Fromber keeps doing this moving forward, because this is the Fromber that we need to see. And I don't know, maybe if somebody was chirping in his ear saying, hey, by the way, you're in a contract year. And that's why he ended up doing it. But hey, look, he did what he needed to do. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it was great to watch. And you touched on it right there at the end. Like, you're trying to get paid, man. Like, you're trying to get that next big contract. Like, this is the type of stuff that number one pitchers starting, aces of rotations. This is the, maybe not always 83 pitches, right? But that pure domination of a lineup. And we talked about it coming in, where the Rays were one of the hotter teams in the major leagues, definitely in the American League, right? They were hot coming in. So, especially, this is coming off of a game where your bullpen just gave up 13, right? Like, the bullpen is taxed. You ran through three or four relievers. You needed the starting pitcher to go deep, right? At least 7. He goes 9, so it saves your bullpen. And then we get to Saturday.
I was gonna say, yeah, because you definitely need that bullpen on Saturday.
And then you get to Saturday. Woo. So look, I was at my daughter's volleyball tournament in Houston all day Saturday. So I was just kind of watching over or game casting on the phone. But you had 5 innings from Colton Gordon, 5 hits, 4 earned, 6 Ks, 2 bombs. Forrest Whitley, 2 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a bomb. Okert, he gave up a bomb. Caleb Ort, he gave up a bomb. But all those guys, so Ort gave up 5 runs, Whitley 5 runs, Gordon 4 runs, Okert and Dubin a run each. You had a Shea Whitcomb sighting on Saturday.
What? Shea Whitcomb?
He got an at bat, struck out, but he got called up. So it looks like, I guess he came in for Altuve later, because Altuve only had 3 at bats. Not much to talk about for Saturday, other than it was a complete beatdown. Colton Gordon, he went 5 innings again. Just not the runs that you want to see from your starting pitcher in 5 innings. So, any takeaways from Saturday's game?
They got their ass kicked. That's it.
Yeah, and it looked like it was pretty. Let's see. Through 4 innings, it was 4-3. So you're like, sweet, we got it. In the 6th, the Rays scored another one, so that's 5-3. And then again, 7, 8, 9, 6 runs in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, 18 hits, 16 runs. I mean, it was a beatdown, straight beatdown.
I got a couple things on it. And one thing I will say is I'll defend Gordon a little bit here. I mean, he did give up 4, but at the same time, hey, look, we pulled him up from AAA. Wasn't like he was getting pulled up because it's like, okay, out of spring, you're going to be like one of the starters, all that other kind of stuff. He's been pulled up due to injury. So, he came up, he did what he was supposed to do. He gave up 4, which is not what you want. But at the same time, let's look at the other one. I believe this is the game where I text both you guys that, can we DFA Whitley in the middle of him pitching? And that it was pretty bad, man. He gave up 5. Ort gave up 5. Okert gave up 1. Dubin gave up 1. The highlight of that game was Pence hitting the leadoff home run. But that pitching was absolutely atrocious from start to finish. And I know you just were talking about the 4-3, and we were kind of hanging in there for a little bit, but it didn't look good. But anyway, I do want to highlight the good stuff. I think Gordon, for what he was set to do, didn't do the worst job ever. He did what he had to do or could do. And then other than that, the Pence leadoff home run, I mean, that was fun to watch. And then after that, it was all downhill. So That's all I got.
Look, the Colton Gordon thing, he's our number 5, number 6 pitcher technically on this rotation, right? I mean, he's not going to go out there and give you 7 shutdown innings, right? He's just not. But if he can go 5 innings, 4 runs, like I think, and I'm getting on the train that Chris talks about, where like that's an acceptable outing for a number 5 or a number 6. 5
Agreed.
innings, 4 runs. Your offense should be able to hang on to that. And they were. I mean, it was 4-3, right, after 4. So, again, I mean, he has been consistent every outing. 5 innings, 3 runs, 4 in this one, So, I mean, again, it's not ideal. However, he's a number 5 or number 6 pitcher. So, again, that's kind of what this guy's line is going to be. I mean, so that's how I look at it. So that's like the positive from it. It's like, hey, he really has been consistent every outing that he's made since he got called up.
Yeah. I mean, again, I mean, he's still trying to find his footing too. I mean, honestly, outside of his worst start this season has been his last one, the 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Besides that, he's been 5 innings, 3 earned runs, and that's probably more than what you're expecting out of him. I mean, so it's not like he went in there, gave pitched 2 innings, gave up 9 runs, and just completely the game was over by the second inning. I mean, he battled. He's still. I mean, like I said, he's facing major league hitting for the first time. Every time he pitches and he pitches against a new team, it's a brand new lineup he's got to learn. I mean, I agree with PK. I mean, your bar is pretty low. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super low with Colton Gordon, but if he's giving you 5 every day, every time it goes out the pitch, I'll take 3, 4 earned runs. It is what it is.
Yeah, so I mean that's what it is. Look, we went through the bullpen again. Everybody pitched except for Abreu and Hader. And I want to say that on Sunday's game was Abreu's first time out of the bullpen in the whole series, which I was kind of shocking a little bit. But he pitched an inning in the 3rd on Sunday. You had the Diesel on the bump, right? Like you needed the Diesel to do his thing.
And
we'll get to it.
Okay. Bumping at the bit.
Look, Hunter Brown did his thing. I wouldn't say it was the cleanest for him. It was not the cleanest. It was 6 innings, 1 hit, 5 Ks, 4 walks, though. I mean, he struggled all day with command. But he did what a real ace does, which is what we 3 at least agree that he's the ace of the staff, is he battled. He battled all day with the lack of control and still only gave up 0 runs. I say only. He gave up 0 runs. You know what I'm saying? So Brian King came in 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, back to Brian King things, right? Back on track for him. Abreu comes in the 8th inning. Just kidding. Bottom of the 7th inning, gets the last out, pitches the 8th. 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. And then Hader. Look, Hader's 15 for 15 in save opportunities this year. I mean, this is the Hader that we expected to see when he first signed that $95 million contract. This year, living up to that number. I mean, he wasn't terrible last year. I mean, Espada used him in crazy ass, outings and multiple innings. But Hader has been disgusting when he comes out in these save opportunities. And now, without further ado, Chris is going to break some news for Sunday, this past Sunday.
Yeah, so the big thing I looked for Sunday was the major league debut of Jacob Melton. I was pretty excited about that, even though he is given up on the mustache and went for the full beard. He did get his first major league hit on an infield single. But yeah, to also kind of, Hunter Brown pitched fantastic. I mean, like if you're struggling command and you still go 6 innings, no earned runs, man, I'll take that.
Hit.
That's 1 hit. Yeah. That's some people on their best day. And, we're here talking about he struggled with his command. And, I know this is an Astros podcast, but man, Taj Bradley looked fantastic yesterday. I mean, like, he looked every bit of the up and coming. I mean, I don't know how high his prospect ranking was at one point, but he looked every bit of the next guy that's going to step up for Tampa and make you say, "Damn, how do they keep spitting out these fantastic young pitchers?" He looked fantastic too. But I wanted to give a shout out to Jacob Melton for his first major league hit. I was excited. I watched him a lot of games down last year down in Sugarland, and it was good to see him finally get the call. Hopefully, and all I was saying. The one thing that I was going to lose my mind was that if he got called up and he didn't start. Well, the good thing was he started. He started in center field. So I was happy. I was happy with everything the way it worked out yesterday. We listened to the majority of the game on the way to Baytown because we had a game yesterday as well. So good for Hunter Brown. And then once again, congratulations to Jacob Melton.
Chris, I'm proud of you, man. That was all positive in there. That was fantastic.
I know.
So Hunter did exactly what he needed him to do, or what we needed him to do. Excuse me. The team looked like, honestly, that looked like a playoff performance. Is what they did yesterday. Except, now I'm going to take the role of Chris here. Except for the offense. Team runners in scoring position, 1 for 10 on base, 7. So, you hit on all the highlights and all the good stuff. But yeah, once again, that offense was really tough. It was tough to watch anyway. And then you're right, Bradley did have one hell of a game, man. That kid looks really good. So it was a pitcher's duel. Don't get me wrong, I like that, but I do not like runners left in scoring position. So that was a tough one. We won. It was a roller coaster of a weekend, PK, as you've already mentioned. And, that was really about it on that one.
Yeah, so look, that wraps up the Rays series. Ugly split. We were outscored a lot to a little. So I'm glad that you have to play 27 outs. I'm glad we had 4 games and we won. We scored 3 runs in our wins. Right? Yeah, 3 runs in our wins.
Yes.
And they scored a lot. They scored let's see, what they have? 16 and 13, and that's 29, so 30.
There you go.
30. I'm mathing. Boy, that's without a calculator. Anyways, good split. Didn't want to lose that series, and now, we got a day off today. We're in Pittsburgh tomorrow for 3. Before we get into the Pittsburgh series, we've got some injury update news. I'm sure everyone is tracking. Shockingly, the Astros medical team misdiagnosed Yordan Alvarez's bruised hand. He now has a fracture in his hand and is being shut down. So I also listened to the sports radio on the way home that Alvarez went to another doctor to get a second opinion. That's when they found the break. So it wasn't even the team medical staff that found it. And so if you look back, I want to talk about it for a little bit so we can move on to Pittsburgh, but this is your best hitter, right? This is your best hitter that you have, right? And it kind of feels like if the player needs to go to his own doctor to get a second opinion, to me that says he doesn't trust his own team's medical staff, right? And then for them to find the break in the hand, and now he's being shut down, like how do you miss this, right? We're in Houston, like one of the leading medical cities in the country, right? How do we miss this? And then if you go back to Kyle Tucker last year, this bone bruise that magically turned into a fracture of the leg, the leg. He was out for 3 months. Then you have McCullers. Well, he was okay to pitch with bone spurs in his elbow, which led to 3 years of not pitching. So I really don't know what you guys' thoughts on it. It's kind of frustrating, for the fact that now Alvarez is going to be shut down for a minute. We already have, and it's something so that, he went down because of inflammation in his hand. That's what was hurting. So then they said, like, hey, we didn't see the bone bruise until after the inflammation went down. So, like, in my head, that means that area on his hand that was bruised or inflamed was, like, so big that he shouldn't have been swinging anyway to begin the season. We're talking like he's been out since early May. And now there's no timetable for the return, at least for right now. So curious on your thoughts on that.
Well, they have missed a lot, to be honest with you, this season and last season. Because not only with everything you mentioned, you had the whole debacle with JV, right? Yeah. JV and Christian Javier, where they both had they were diagnosed with crick in their necks or whatever.
Yeah.
And with Christian Javier led Tommy John. And then with JV, it led to him missing a significant amount of time. And I don't know if he rushed himself back, but when he came back, he looked like not the JV of old. So again, something has to happen. I mean, there's got to be some type of accountability. I mean, like I said, you hit the nail on the head with Kyle Tucker. I mean, how do you? And I guess the real question is how much is it the top brass trying to I don't even understand the reasoning of hey, we're just gonna say Kyle Tucker has a bruise. Maybe it's so they don't have to put him on the 60-day IL. At that point, I don't understand what the strategy would be if they were just purposely, misdiagnosing it. I mean, I'm not there, to, give my opinion. Nobody cares about my opinion medically. But something's got to change. Because this is an issue that we've ran into now the last couple seasons, and it's leading with significant players missing significant amount of time.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, it does kind of make you think. It's like, we've said over and over again, we don't know what the Astros are doing with all their injuries, and what are they hiding and all that. Are they hiding it or they don't know? And that's kind of the scary question to ask. Is our medical staff so bad that they can't properly diagnose something, so they just kind of throw out something to give to the media, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, well, maybe that's it, or maybe it's not. So yeah, I totally agree. It's at this point, just turn over your entire medical staff. Go get the top minds that we've got. Jim Crane's got the money. He can go pull whoever he wants from Houston Methodist, from Memorial Hermann, or any of the, top end local hospitals we have here to actually be on this staff. Because this is not only sad, but it's getting embarrassing. And it's going to be very, very difficult for the rest of the organization to try to plan on what you have to do to get this team not only healthy, but making sure that you're calling up either the proper people from AAA, or, hey, look, we don't have that proper person in AAA. We might need to start looking at the waiver wire, or whatever the case may be. So it's gotten to the point where it's out of hand, and I really hope that Crane, the Astros, Dana Brown, somebody, whoever is in charge of the medical staff, is going to get this thing figured out coming up real quick.
Yeah, for sure. And the last thing on this is I think about any potential free agents that might be interested in coming, and or players that we currently have possibly want to re-sign, where if there's the wording or stories out there about the medical staff and it's not taken care of, the players or whatever it is, that might deter a potential free agent from coming, and or a player potentially resigning. So it's a lot of things. It's not just for this season. I see it as potential future seasons with the players that may or may not want to come to this team solely because of that. So with that, let's move to Pittsburgh. Got a few minutes left. So, Browse, you had the rotations. You got the features for the series.
All right, we're at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh is a 22-38 in fifth place in the NL Central. So Tuesday we've got LMJ 0-1 with a 5.89 ERA versus probably the best pitcher on the planet, Paul Skeens, 4-5 with a 2.15 ERA. Ooh. Wednesday, we've got Ryan Gusto 3-2 with a 4.62 ERA versus Burrows 0-1 with an 8.64. And Thursday, our boy with 87 pitches, Fromber, 5-4 with a 3.12 ERA, which he knocked that down, versus Keller, who somehow is 1-7 with a sub-4 ERA at 3.73.
That means he's not going to run support. Man, like everything about this series. You know what, man? Screw it. I try to be nice with them, with the Rays, and they completely let me down. I'm going to go 1-2, just mainly because I don't know, man. I don't even know if I want to go 1-2 because their offense is just as. I mean, if you have a record of 1-7 with a sub-4 ERA, that means you're not getting a run support. If your record's 4-5 with the ERA of 2.10, I mean that should be at least a 7-1, maybe 7-2 record, and he's 4-5, right? But it's still Paul Skeens, so I'm going to say we're going to drop the first one. I don't see us beating Paul Skeens. I see us winning this. Oh man, because I just don't know what Gusto you're going to get game 2. Yeah. That's the only thing. And like I said, Mitch Keller hasn't been pitching terribly. He just doesn't get the run support, which is the same thing we complain about here in Houston, is the fact that we don't get the run support. So, you know what? Screw it. 2-1 Astros. Screw it.
All right. I'm riding with you. It's 2-1. I think we dropped the Skeens game. LMJ, hey, man, keep whittling away at that ERA, but I hate to tell you, you're going up against Paul Skeens. So good luck with that. I think we lose that one. I think we win the next 2. I think Gusto, he's probably going to struggle, and not only that, Burrows, I mean, he's got an over 8 ERA. So I think we could definitely knock him around. And then you got Fromber up against Keller, excuse me. So I'm going 2-1. I'm going under on Tuesday, over Wednesday, under on Thursday.
All right. So I'm also going to take 2-1. I think that's 2-1 across the board, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here is my thing. I think Lance is gonna piggyback off his last outing. So I'm gonna take the dub tomorrow. Ooh. I'll take the win on Tuesday. I think Gusto is gonna do enough to get us there. I think on Thursday, the Fromber game, I don't know if Fromber's gonna put it together back to back. I would love to see it back to back. I think he might be a little bit rogue, Fromber, maybe a little bit too overconfident based on his last outing. So I'll take the first 2 wins. We drop the Thursday game. That's my prediction. I think I hit the play button now. Yes.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, now I can really honestly enjoy my night off. I was sitting here wondering I was going to have to come in and save you.
PK on the boards.
On the boards, baby. And it's even looped already. So we took 2-1 across the board. That's what we have. That's what we need. Another series win. I don't know where they're playing this weekend. It's not in front of me. Doesn't matter, because on Thursday when we come back, we'll talk all about it. But until then,
I hope it should be 7:30 too, because Wednesday will be our last All-Star game. So no more of this 8:30 stuff, except for maybe on Sunday, because I'll be down in Corpus Christi at the Hooks game. So we'll see.
There you go. Bring some swag back. I will. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank y'all for tuning in every single time we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at Juicebox Heroes, on X at Juice_Box Heroes, Instagram, Juice_Box Heroes, YouTube, Juicebox Heroes. Make sure you click and subscribe. Let's get those follows up. Till then, guys, y'all have a great rest of your week. We'll see y'all on Thursday. I'm PK. That's Chris. That's Bryles. And this is the Juicebox Heroes.
Hook 'em. Even though we lost.
Boy, I tell you what, UTSA is good, man.
That UTSA, Thursday,
golly.
Yeah, that was a rough thing to watch, man.
I want them to win.